The predator's muscles ripple, preparing to pounce. Kato's fingers tighten around the smooth river stone in his palm. This isn't just any rock. 3 days ago, he spent hours selecting it, striking it against another stone, creating sharp flakes until one edge became razor thin. His father, a Homo habilis hunter, taught him this. But teaching and surviving are different things. The cat launches forward with terrifying speed. Kato's entire body screams to run, but he knows better. Instead, he whips his arm forward, hurling the stone tool with desperate force. The sharp edge catches the cat across its face, not deep, but enough. The predator veers sideways, confused, giving Kato the seconds he needs to scramble up the nearest acacia tree. As he clings to the branches, watching the frustrated predator circle below, something profound settles into his mind. He just survived an apex predator, not with teeth, not with claws, but with a rock he shaped with his own hands. This moment, replicated across millennia, changed everything. 2 million years ago, our ancestors discovered they could transform the world around them. When Homo habilis first struck one stone against another, creating the Oldowan toolkit, they weren't just making tools, they were making decisions. Which rock has the right grain? Where should I strike? How hard? This required planning and foresight, cognitive abilities that would literally reshape the human brain. These early stone tools became extensions of human intention. Every flake struck away was a thought made physical. Our ancestors learned they didn't have to accept the world as it was. They could change it. Fast forward to 300,000 years ago. Imagine standing on the shores of an ancient Ethiopian megalaki, watching Homo heidelbergensis hunters preparing to hunt hippopotamuses, animals that could bite a human in half. But these hunters had evolved beyond stone choppers. In their hands were obsidian-tipped javelins, balanced perfectly for throwing. The innovation wasn't just the sharp point, it was the fundamental transformation of hunting strategy. For the first time, humans could kill from a distance. One hunter steps forward, his muscles coiling. The javelin leaves his hand at incredible velocity. Fracture analysis of recovered stone points suggests impact speeds exceeding 1,800 miles per hour. The obsidian tip drives deep into the hippo's flank. Then another javelin, and another. The massive animal, unable to reach its attackers, slowly weakens. This was revolution crystallized in stone and wood. Projectile weapons meant our ancestors could hunt dangerous megafauna with dramatically reduced risk. They could feed larger groups, support injured members, and care for the vulnerable. The throwing spear didn't just change hunting, it changed the entire social contract of being human. Then, 64,000 years ago, in what is now South Africa, early Homo sapiens perfected an art that would dominate human conflict for millennia: the bow and arrow. Picture Zara, a young hunter, tracking a springbok across the grassland. The animal is fast, too fast for spears. But Zara has something her ancestors couldn't imagine. She knocks a stone-tipped arrow onto her bow, draws the sinew string back to her cheek, and feels the stored energy trembling in the bent wood. Release. The arrow arcs through the air, covering a distance her arm could never throw. Striking with precision her eye could barely believe. The bow and arrow represented a quantum leap in human capability. It combined mechanical advantage with accuracy, allowing hunters to strike smaller, faster prey. But more importantly, it required entirely new cognitive skills, calculating trajectory, judging distance, and accounting for wind. The bow didn't just change how humans hunted, it changed how humans thought. As glaciers advanced, humans developed perhaps their most ingenious weapon yet, the Atlatl, or spear thrower. This deceptively simple device, a wooden shaft with a hook at one end, transformed human hunting capacity overnight. Picture Roku, a Cro-Magnon hunter facing down a woolly mammoth. The beast stands twice his height, its tusks like curved trees. A hand-thrown spear would barely penetrate its thick hide. But Roku's Atlatl acts as an extension of his arm, multiplying leverage and velocity. He loads a 6-foot spear, the Atlatl effectively doubling his arm length. Release. The spear screams through the air at over 100 miles per hour. The bone tip, crafted over days, punches through the mammoth's hide and deep into vital organs. The mechanical advantage was so profound that suddenly, humans weren't just surviving among megafauna, they were dominating them. The Atlatl represented humanity's first true understanding of physics, of leverage and force multiplication. Our ancestors were becoming engineers. Let's go back even further. Kumi sits by the fire, an ancient volcanic stone in her hands. She's a Homo erectus toolmaker, crafting an elegant, symmetrical handaxe. Strike. A large flake falls away. Strike. Another. Each blow is precise and controlled. She's creating a tool that's sharp enough to butcher an elephant, durable enough to last years, and so perfectly balanced it feels like an extension of her arm. These handaxes dominated human technology for over 1 million years, the most successful tool design in history. Found across Africa, Asia, and Europe, they prove that our ancestors could maintain and transmit complex knowledge across generations. The handaxe wasn't just a tool, it was a cultural touchstone. 40,000 years ago, early Homo sapiens began combining multiple materials into single weapons. Bone, harpoons with stone barbs, spears with fire-hardened shafts, and stone tips bound with sinew. Each composite weapon required hours of work and knowledge of multiple materials and adhesives. The real revolution was cognitive. Composite weapons required long-term planning, resource gathering, and abstract thinking about how different materials interact. These weren't just better weapons, they were proof that human minds had evolved to solve problems through complexity. Each of these innovations triggered cascading transformations. Stone tools meant better nutrition, which fueled bigger brains, which enabled more sophisticated tools. Projectile weapons reduced hunting injuries, allowing experienced hunters to survive longer and pass on knowledge. Language developed to share hunting strategies. The bow and arrow allowed a single hunter to feed a family, leading to specialization, the division of labor that is the foundation of all civilization. Mechanical weapons like the Atlatl proved humans could amplify their power through engineering, a cognitive leap that would eventually lead to every machine ever built. But there was a darker side. Around 45,000 years ago, as anatomically modern humans spread out of Africa with advanced weapons, megafauna populations collapsed. Woolly mammoths, giant ground sloths, cave bears, all vanished. The same weapons that allowed our ancestors to survive now gave them the power to drive entire species to extinction. Weapons transformed humans from just another prey species into the planet's apex predator. The ecological balance that had existed for millions of years shattered in mere millennia. Today, you might not carry a spear, but every time you use a tool, you're participating in a story 2.6 million years in the making. The smartphone in your pocket, the knife in your kitchen, all are descendants of that first moment when an early human picked up a stone and thought, I can make this better. Ancient weapons didn't just change human history, they created it. They transformed a vulnerable ape into a thinking, planning species that would eventually walk on the moon. Every weapon was a problem solved, a barrier overcome. From Kato clinging to that acacia tree, heart pounding, to modern humans manipulating atoms, the arc is unbroken. We are a species defined not by what we were born with, but by what we created. The weapons are ancient, but the spirit that forged them, the drive to transform challenge into opportunity, burns as bright now as it did 2 million years ago. Want to dive deeper into human evolution and the innovations that made us who we are? Subscribe for more stories from our prehistoric past. Hit that like button if this journey through time amazed you, and drop a comment telling us, What ancient innovation do you think was most important to human survival? Let's discuss in the comments below.